Walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. 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 Love everybody with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Love everybody with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Love everybody with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. 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 Woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind. Stayed on spirit. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
What a great way to start. Thank you, choir. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm JoAnne Goodsell, and I'm your MC for today. And it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our Sunday celebration service here at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living in our beautiful community of Apple Valley, California. We're so happy that you chose to be with us today. And now it's time for one of our favorites, hugs and handshakes. So for this next song, those who choose to participate, please get up, walk around, give a hug, give a handshake, give a namaste, sit in your chair if you choose, but enjoy this time of community. Take it away, Chris.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine headed my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. It's the bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Wonderful feeling, feeling this way.
While you're taking your seats, I'm going to catch my breath a little bit. We are an all-inclusive center of love. Thank you. Where we recognize and celebrate each person as a uniquely divine individual. We view each person as an expression of the one Spirit in all. Together, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone. We teach and embody the science of mind principles to support our core values of love, healing, spiritual growth, oneness, abundance, service, and diversity. Welcome home. I want to thank you to everyone who's joining us online today. We are so happy you are with us. Please say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from and how you're doing today. We love to connect with you. And thank you to Nicholas for running our live stream as well as our in-house service. You are so appreciated, Nicholas. Now I invite everyone to please join me in reading our opening community affirmation. It is in your program on the left side, and it's up on the monitors as well. I believe in one power, one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe that spirit expresses through me and is the unity of all life. I believe that all thought is creative and that how I choose to think creates my personal experience. And so it is. Is there anyone joining us for the very first time today? I'm not seeing any hands. Does anybody else see any hands? Well, thank all of you for bringing your consciousness to our service. So the announcements today after service, we're having our monthly board meeting, and we'll be serving pizza and salad. I want to thank our sponsors and our donors for this meal today. And as a reminder, we have a donation jar in the social hall if you'd like to make a contribution for the kitchen services and supplies to show your appreciation and gratitude for the nourishment of our bodies and the opportunity to gather in fellowship. Thank you. And thank you to our hospitality team for all of your support and assistance in co-creating another opportunity for us to gather for fellowship. And now it's time for the rest of the announcements. So inside your program tells you what's going on this week, and I'll be reading some other things as well. So the current events happening at our center can also be found online through our social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram, as well as the Meetup app and the calendar on our website as well. And also, the admin team is working on getting our website back up and running as soon as possible. They're almost there, so if you're getting any error messages, just know that they are working on it and revamping our website to be better and more functional than before. Woohoo!
Right.
Our monthly shamanic drum circle with Janet Amby is happening this Wednesday, September 20th, and it will be in honor of the autumn equinox. The participation fee is $10. You can bring a yoga mat or blanket to lie down. She also recommends an eye shield, and if you want to bring a little notebook to write any insights that you have, that's also helpful. So you can choose to sit in a chair. We have chairs available, or lie down. The event is at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:45, and it's open to all. So please come and bring a friend. And now I welcome Brandy. Come on up, Brandy.
Thank you, JoAnne. Good morning, everyone. So I'm here to let you know, in case you don't already know, but the Healthy Spirit Fair is happening this coming Saturday, September 23rd. It's from 8:30 to 4. I do still have some vendor spots available, so if you are interested in being a vendor, please see me throughout the week so that you can get your spot. And we also have a volunteer sign-up sheet at the concierge table for the day of the event. So if you want to participate and be involved in any of the setup or any of the wonderful things that happen throughout the day, please let me or Judy know. And I think we're going to be set up by Friday, so we don't need any help on Friday. That's just going to be for vendors coming in and setting up. And what else did I have to say? We're doing Wednesday setup. So we're going to be moving chairs. So if anybody has some extra muscles that they would like to lend us, that would be really, really appreciated. I don't know the time, so we will just talk to me and Judy, or we'll come hunt you down. Anyway, so yeah, it's going to be a really, really great day, and I'm really looking forward to having all of you please come and have a nice day with us. So again, it's from 8:30 to 4 this coming Saturday, September 23rd. If you're on any social media, please share the flyer, the event page. You can also take flyers off of the concierge table and share. So thank you so much. And I should probably read what I wrote. I also have another announcement. I didn't even read any of that stuff. Okay, Joan has a special announcement about your duck race tickets. Because of you, we raised $250 from the ticket sales. Woohoo! Thank you, Joan. I believe the race was yesterday, so we don't know the winning person yet, but hopefully it's one of us. So thank you to those who participated in purchasing tickets, because it helps our center. And thank you so much, Joan, for taking care of this every year for us. And now I welcome Angie to come up with a special announcement. So thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I was asked to speak to you just for a few minutes this morning about our grief circle that we hold every Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon. I really am trying to reach out to those people who maybe think that they don't belong there, or their grief isn't large enough, or recent enough, or anyway. Bottom line is it's open to everyone, and I encourage you all to come. Grief is what brought me to this center in the very beginning in 2012, a month after my husband passed away. I wound up here. My journey led me here. And grief, about a year and a half ago, I lost my son, my youngest son. Grief led me to become a certified grief educator to help other people navigate the subject that nobody wants to seem to talk about, which is death and dying, and it's as much a part of life as is birth. And I'm very honored, thank you, Michael. He didn't realize at the time that he announced that he was going to start a grief circle that I was just 2 weeks away from earning my certification. I just went down that path not knowing where it would lead me. And then this opened up, and I've learned so much. I, as a teacher, not a teacher, I'm also a student as well. I learn every day from the people that have come to the grief circle and shared their deepest emotions, which grief touches every emotion you can possibly imagine. And I would imagine that everybody out there, most everybody, has experienced grief. It's something that unites us all, and we just don't talk about it enough. So please, if you've been on the fence, please come and visit us. It's a sacred circle, and we'd love to share it with you. Thank you.
All right, Angie.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Brandy. Next Sunday, September 24th, we have our bling-themed Sunday. So shine on next Sunday. Wear your bling. After service next Sunday on the 24th, we have our community sound bath with Tamara from Reiki Radiance. This is a love offering, and the suggested donation is $25. However, all are welcome, and please give what you can. This is a great fundraiser for our center and for Tamara. See Brandy or Tamara if you have any questions or concerns. And I recently attended one of Tamara's sound baths, and it was so cool because they had a meditation before. And so by having that meditation before, my body was ready to accept those healing sounds from the bowls. Because in the past, the bowls just started, and so then your body kind of just has to relax and get into it. By having the meditation first, which Brandy led, it was just so much more powerful, I thought. So to me, it's a don't miss, but I'll be in Henderson, Nevada, so I won't be here. And we're forming a new women's group, and it's starting on Monday, September 25th. It's going to be at 10:30 in the morning. This is an empowering women's group for all ages, offering support as we learn and grow together. This group is going to be facilitated by licensed psychotherapist Tammy Hunt on a love offering basis and is open to the public. Thank you, Tammy. We have our fall talent show coming up on Friday, October 20th, and Paul.
It's a Friday.
The flyer says Friday, October 20th. I'm trusting that's right.
20th is
I
a
didn't double
Friday.
check it. It's at 7 p.m. It's a no-cost admission, and we are seeking talent, and they would like the talent to sign up by Friday, October 6th. So you still got a couple weeks to work on your talent, your act. You can sing, you can dance, you can drum, you can hoop and holler. Just something community appropriate. How's that?
Yes, yes.
Wednesday, September 27th, we have a group study on the book titled The Fifth Agreement by author Don Miguel Ruiz. The Fifth Agreement teaches, listen to the intent behind the words, and you will understand the real message. I'm signing up for this one. The last one Tina facilitated was fantastic, such a deep amount of sharing and learning. It was wonderful. Tina, could you stand or let people see who you are?
Tina.
So the class again is Wednesday, September 27th, and it's from 6 to 8 p.m. And how many weeks is that class, Tina? 7 weeks, okay, thank you. And Metaphysical Movie Night. We have so many wonderful things going on here. I hope everybody can participate in some of them because they're a lot of fun. So we have Jonathan Livingston Seagull is our movie for this month. It's hosted by the Rainbow Alliance Group, and that's going to be on Thursday evening, September 28th at 6 p.m., and again, all are welcome. And finally, we have karaoke and game night on Friday, September 29th from 6 to 9. I think out of all these events, you can find something that would be fun for you and your family. So we have a lot of great things happening here at our center all the time. So please stop by the concierge table or reach out to the office if you have any questions about these events or anything else happening here at the center. And remember, you also have information in your program each week along with our HDCSL affirmation. So please take it home with you and keep it handy. Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome our practitioner of the day, Lori Smith.
Lori.
Thank you, JoAnne. Please join me as we read together Dr. Ernest Holmes' promises. They are on the front page of your program and on the screen. Let's do that together. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of light, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul. And now Chris will share with us. So relax, breathe, and enjoy.
The heart of the world beats in me now. The light of the world shines through me. The song of the world sings through me now. I am the heart of the world. I am the heart
Paula Gharib will now join me in lighting the flames of faith. We perform the Flames of Faith ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle, acknowledging all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. We light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as Paula lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's eternal love. So let us take this moment now, and I invite you to close your eyes as we move within. Deeply, I know that I am one with this absolute, this infinite, this all-knowing presence. Spirit, moving in and through this thing called life. It is our very mind. It is deep within our hearts. And it is every breath we breathe. It is pure and perfect love within each one of us. I have no doubt the power and presence of this one mind, this one life, this one breath that is breathing me right now. I am open and aware that my thoughts are creative, that I have a limitless capacity to love and be loved. I speak these words so that you may embody them as your own. I am filled to overflowing with the great goodness of Spirit, of this allness of life that is mine now. So it is with deep, great gratitude that I give thanks for this service, for all those who make it possible, for your board of trustees that are here to serve, and your practitioners who listen with compassion and kindness. We are here for you. And let us lift Reverend Michael up in his message today. May it bring you joy. May it bring you peace, clarity, guidance, and above all, love. Love guides the way. I release my word knowing it is heard, it is done. It is spirit in action, it is love in action. And I know this to be so. And together we say, and so it is. And now please welcome Reverend Michael.
It's not on.
It's on? Let me check this and make sure the battery's
There
in.
it is.
There we go. First, the battery was out. It always falls out of my pocket. I don't know what that's about. Done it, I did it again today, but we learn and we grow. Last couple weeks ago, it fell out and I couldn't get it back in, and today I got it back in, and then Nick found the volume control back there, so we're good. Lori mentioned in her prayer, and it was beautiful, and the music was beautiful. It was that prayerful space. That may this service bring you, I don't remember the actual words, love and light and peace and harmony. But what I'm inviting in today, and what Spirit just invited into me while I was sitting here, was may it bring us fun and joy. And I couldn't get a beat, and I couldn't get a read, and I couldn't get a seat on what I was feeling today. I just wasn't there. And all of a sudden, I looked out at this sanctuary, and I noticed what I was noticing, what I noticed that I was noticing, and then I started laughing, not at your prayer, and not at Spirit, but we don't laugh at Spirit, we laugh with Spirit. And I noticed that this building looks exactly like the Waffle House that I used to go to when I was in college, and we'd go there every Sunday morning to the Waffle House, and I thought, this is the same structure as the Waffle House I used to go to. And I started laughing because I thought, we're not a house that waffles. We're pretty firmly grounded in our principles. And we're not a house that wobbles because we're pretty firmly grounded in the truth that it's a friendly universe, so we don't waffle and we don't wobble. You know, what we get to do is be present with that ever-presence of energy. And for me, there's this joy and this fun coming up in this talk today because it does look like a Waffle House, but we're going to move from waffling into being the stability of the foundation of the principles of this teaching. We're going to be present with the energy of fun and light and love and truth. And I invite us to be present with this service exactly as it unfolds. Because in the opening song, Stayed on Spirit. And I was thinking about that. I should be paying attention to the prayer and the readings, the announcements, and I don't. But I thought, stayed on Spirit. And being stayed on Spirit is not being static with Spirit. Spirit is not static. And if we are static, Spirit can't align with us because Spirit is always in motion. So I thought, well, stayed for me isn't really being static. It's about being present with the present in a way that gives us, and I was talking with some people before service, being stayed on service and even being stately with this energy and Spirit is about making time to have time to be present with Spirit. So it's about making time to make time. And that, for me, is being stayed on Spirit. Being stayed in the present moment, being aware in the present moment, being open to the present moment, whatever that brings in, whatever that brings forth, whatever that brings in, whatever that brings out, whatever comes in, whatever comes out. It's all Spirit and it's all presence. And so stayed is not about being static. It's about being present with noticing what we're noticing. And so what I'm noticing today is that I'm comfortable with the talk. I'm comfortable with myself, but I am not comfortable with the fact that I'm using props today. I did not do well in props in ministerial school. You had to hold a book, you had to hold a prop, and you had to give your talk. And and find a page in the book, and I didn't do well with that, but I'm going up with my first prop. So I'm opening to the fun of this prop. I have no idea how it's going to work, but I had a lot of fun with it in the kitchen last night, and it kind of worked into my talk. So here we go. This is prop number 1. So what we're talking about today is love. Now I got to read my notes. I got to do the prop. I got to stay present. Wow. You know, can we do it all? Can we walk and chew bubble gum at the same time? I don't know. Rumi shares this about, I'm finding joy. Or joy is finding me. Or this teaching is co-creative. I think I'm finding joy, and joy is finding me, and that's the way it works. We're co-creative. Whatever we find, whatever we hold in mind, Spirit co-creates with us. So I'm finding joy, I'm finding fun, and Spirit's co-creating that with me. That's his teaching. So Rumi shares this about life. Here's an energy shift. Here's an energy shift that just caught me. Rumi shares this about life. You have to keep breaking your heart until your heart breaks wide open. And to break our hearts wide open, got a heart mold here. And I'm just going to know this clay is going to stick here and not slide off, which it did in the kitchen. And Ross said, it's not going to work. You can't do this. And I said, yes, I can, because yes, I am. So to break our hearts wide open, we get to choose to let go of our fears. So this part of the clay is fear. And I'm going to remove that part of the clay because I don't want fear in my life anymore. So I'm removing fear from my heart. I'm removing fear from my life. And we get to choose to let go of our doubts. So this part of the clay right here, this part of the clay is any doubt that I might have about how this service is going to go, about if we're going to have fun or if we're going to fall apart, or if we have a message or if it's important. None of that matters. All that matters is that we're present with each other. If we didn't say anything, if we just sat in the presence of each other, in the presence of the divine that's ever present, that will be enough and more than enough. And so we get to choose to let go, big one, of our limitations. So this part of the clay is our limitation, so we're letting go of our limitation. We get to choose to remove. We get to choose to let go. And when we choose to remove and we choose to let go, we move into that presence of forgiveness and love and light and truth, and we get to be present with Spirit in the Waffle House or in the sanctuary. It doesn't matter. Spirit's there. We get to choose to let go of anything unlike love. And so the last piece of the clay I'm letting go of, I'm hoping we're getting this to the camera for the home audience, the last piece that we're going to remove is letting go of anything unlike love. And when we let go of anything unlike love, and we remove our doubt, and we remove our fears, and we remove our limitations, we remove anything unlike love, all we have left, thank you, Spirit, don't fall, all we have left is the openness of the oneness of the love in our heart. Thank you. I'm growing. I got to do a prop, and I got to read. This is all good. So what we're talking about today is the openness of our heart, that Rumi says you have to keep breaking your heart until your heart breaks wide open. And I think the breaking of the heart that he's talking about is the breaking away of anything like our heart, the breaking away of anything unlike love, the breaking away of anything unlike light and love and joy and laughter and fun. Break it away and break away from anything like the love that you are. Dr. Tom Costa, for the 45 years of his Science of Mind ministry, began his Sunday talks with this heart-opening line. What does Rumi say? Break your heart open. Dr. Tom opened with this heart-opening line. You are a valuable and worthwhile human being. Now, in my 45 weeks of ministry, not 45 years, I've yet to find in every Sunday my heart-opening line, to open a talk with every Sunday, my heart-opening line. Because every Sunday, I came to realize when I was writing this talk, every Sunday, my heart is open in a different way. I can't use the same line I used last week to refer to my heart this week or to refer to my heart next week, because my heart today is open to the Waffle House-ness of this talk. And I'm moving beyond the wobble and the worry and the weight of how this talk will unfold. So in my 45 weeks of ministry, I've yet to find my every heart-opening line, because every Sunday my heart is different than the Sunday before, and the Sunday before that, and the Sunday before that, and the Sunday after this one. But for this Sunday in this Waffle House, here's my heart-opening line. Your life has meaning. If the choir wants to. Your life has meaning. Your life has purpose. And you are loved beyond the measure of the rain and the clouds and the sky. You are loved beyond the measure of the rain and the clouds and the sky. And so here we go. Here we go.
Ready, go. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
Whoa! Thank you, Chris. Thank you, our wonderful choir. I'm going to have to take breathing lessons because I'm pretty good, but I like to hold the breath on some of that today. There was the challenge, and so there's the opportunity, and the word challenge is the word change. And so what I mean called to bring forth is that we get to change the way we breathe with Spirit. We get to change the way we see Spirit. We get to change the way we be with Spirit. And our opening story is not about, and we get to change the way we be with our hearts. We get to change the way we be with our hearts by letting fall away anything unlike love and coming to the awareness and the fullness and the funness of that love in our heart. So our opening story is not as much about opening our hearts, is it about opening the pearly gates of heaven? And I like this, and some of you may have heard it before, but there's a pastor and a cab driver, and they arrive at the pearly gates together. How many have heard this? Pastor and a cab driver. JoAnne's heard so many of these stories. I say, how many have heard? And she's like, I've heard that. I remember that one. So a pastor and cab driver arrive at the pearly gates of heaven. A voice calls out from inside the gates, name and occupation, please. The first gentleman says, my name is Tom, and my occupation is I'm a cab driver. The second gentleman calls out and says, my name is Simon, and I'm a pastor. The pearly gates open. Tom and Simon enter. Pearly gates close behind them. They meet St. Peter, and St. Peter, it is said, he was one of Christ's apostles, and it said that Christ actually gave St. Peter the keys to the kingdom When Christ was aware he'd be moving into the non-physical realm, and he turned the keys to the kingdom over to St. Peter. Now, what are those keys to you? Are they a physical key? Are they a mental key of the power of thought? Are they the key of intellect, the key of intuition, the key of inspiration, all three keys? And if I bring intellect, inspiration, intuition together, that would be what I would call wisdom counsel. That's the wisdom counsel of all of our abilities, all of our five senses, and all of those metaphysical senses beyond. So whatever the key is for you, whatever the key to your kingdom is, whatever the key to your heart is, whatever the key to the fullness of the love in your heart that's beyond all of those conditions, fear and lack and doubt, anything unlike love, what's your key to opening up that fullness of love? What's your key to opening up that light of love in your heart? What's your key to unshuttering that love and that light in your heart and just infusing the world with your energy? Infusing the world with your energy. And so St. Peter, who has the keys to the kingdom, turns to the cab driver and gives him a golden staff. A golden staff. And St. Peter says the golden staff represents all pass access. It's an all-access pass. The cab driver has access to all of heaven. St. Peter, who has the keys to the kingdom, turns to the pastor and gives him a wooden staff. The pastor is not pleased. He says, why did he get a cab driver get a gold staff, and I, a minister of God, dedicated my life to God, dedicated my life to the science of mind teaching? Why did I get a wooden staff? And St. Peter explains, when you preached, the people in your church slept. But when that cab driver drove, the people in his cab prayed for their life.
Ah, that's good.
And so, Nick, if we can, thank you. So here's, by the way, this talk came to me at 3 o'clock in the morning the other night. I had no idea. I had no title, no talk, no affirmation, no talk. 3 in the morning, Spirit wakes, and Brandy wants this stuff on Thursday so I can get printed in time. And I emailed her at 3 in the morning. She did not answer until maybe a more appropriate time, like 10 in the morning. And this stuff just dropped in, and I just wrote it down, and I just went with it, and I have no idea what's here, so it's going to be fun to see what's here. But then this dropped in. Then this dropped in. That's, boy, when stuff, yeah, Chris, when you write music and stuff drops in, right?
Yep.
You can't put it into words, right? And it doesn't matter if it works or it doesn't work. All that matters is that we're aware that Spirit's present with us. That Spirit's present with us. So this brought me to Spirit's present. When we let the life we live, when we let the life we lead become our prayer, then the life we live is one of prayer answered. It's one of prayer answered. When we let the life that we lead become our prayer, then the life we live is one of prayer answered. It's answered prayer. It's everything you could ask for. Ministry for Ross and myself, and I wasn't quite sure on the verbiage of this. Ministry for Ross and me, ministry for Ross and myself, I'm not quite sure, but we're going to go with ministry for Ross and me. Spirit did not drop in a spell check for me this week. Ministry for Ross and me is not the job that we do. It has never been a job that we do. But ministry for us is the life that we lead and live. And two, ministry and the life we live and love is truly one of prayer answered. It's truly one of prayer answered. My great-grandfather was a Methodist minister from 1890 to 1940 in the town of Southold, New York. My mother told tales that when my grandfather preached, people slept. But when my grandmother filled in for him on those occasions when he couldn't be in the pulpit, she gave a spirit-rousing sermon. That's my great-grandfather's church. I think it was built in 1790. And he was minister there from 1890 to 1940. And so my grandmother gave the best speech, the spirit-ridden, rousing speech that touched people's hearts. And so I want to say right now, hail, hallelujah, and amen to the feminine divine, guys. The feminine divine, guys. Come on, come on. To the feminine divine. There was my great-grandmother, as Joel Osteen would say of ministry, say it like you mean it. And as my mom said of my great-grandmother, when my great-grandmother was preaching, she always said what she meant, and she meant what she said. And then my mother went on to say that you could feel my great-grandmother's love from the pulpit to the pew. You could feel her love from the pulpit to the pew, and you could feel her love from the few to the many. That's ministry. That's ministry. As I move forward in ministry, and as ministry is moving forward in me, I'm working on being stayed, present in spirit. Whoa, it is moving, it is working, it is in motion. As I move forward in ministry, and ministry moves forward in me, as I move forward in prayer, prayer can only move forward in me and move me forward. That's prayer. That's prayer. That's living the life of prayer, moving forward in my life, and prayer moves me forward, and I move forward in prayer, and it's all one, and it's all synchronicity. It's all about motion. And as I move forward in life with Ross, and as life moves forward in me and Ross, I'm every day in every way feeling the love of the divine within. And every day, too, I'm coming to realize and to recognize and to resonate and to rejuvenate in that joy, in the knowing beyond knowing, in the seeing beyond seeing, in the being beyond being. 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning. We're supposed to be asleep, right? Yeah. When Spirit calls, we answer. It calls some of us in the middle of life or death surgery. It calls some of us in the middle of the greatest grief you will ever know. It calls some of us 3 in the morning. What is ours to do is to answer that call, is to answer that call to love, is to answer that call to the fullness of the love in our heart, is to answer the call to the fullness of the life that we love living, is to answer that call to the fullness of joy and laughter and happiness. Spirit calls. Spirit calls. Spirit calls. Spirit calls. But it may not call in our time. It may call in Spirit's time. Because we're all about the because. What's the because behind the feeling? What's the because behind what we're experiencing? What's the because? What's the because? We call that first cause. The because is first cause. The first cause is Spirit. The first cause is Spirit. That's cause. And then we have effect. But the effect is not where the power is. The effect is not where the power is. The effect is not where the power is. The power is in the cause that creates the effect. And when we see the effect that we don't like, the fear and the lack and the doubt, we peel that away from our heart, and then we come to the first cause of the love in our heart is one with God's heart. It's always first cause. It's always love. It's always what's in our heart. And it's always how much are we willing to let out what's in our heart. How much are we willing to answer the call of our own heart? The call of our own heart. It is always crying. Trust me, it's always crying. It's always calling. It's always offering us the opportunity to be more of who we are. And so at 3 in the morning, and it's a talk that just talked to me. And what came to me is that good preachers bring forth their good message. My grandfather brought forth his good message. But great preachers, and perhaps my grandmother was a great preacher. Perhaps she was a great preacher. Not a good preacher, but a great preacher. And I think so from what my mother shared about pulpit to pew and few to many. Great preachers bring forth the great message they hear in the openness and the oneness of the love in their hearts, sometimes even at 3 in the morning. Sometimes even at 3 in the morning, Spirit invites us to open our heart to that presence of love in ways we've never known before. Ernest Holmes was a great teacher who brought forth a great message. He did not bring forth his message. He brought forth the message he heard in his heart. What is ours to do is to hear our heartfelt message. Hear our heartfelt message. Hear our heartfelt message. What are we feeling in our hearts? Because what we are feeling in our hearts, if we let everything else fall away, will be what we'll be seeing and being in our life. But first we have to let fall away the doubt and the lack and the limitation and the woe-sayers. It's hard. It's hard. I would say it's GD hard, but not in here. It's hard. It's hard. But what I'm coming to be aware, it's really hard. It's all hard. When grief is really hard, when loss is really hard, when life is really hard, and it is hard out there. It is hard out there. But when we can move from seeing the hard into feeling our heart, then the hard becomes our heart, and our heart becomes the messenger and the meditation and the moment in which the hard of the conditions become the heart of the consciousness of who we are, and the heart of the grief becomes the heartfelt kindness and compassion and loving of our grief, moving from hurt to hope and to healing. That's great ministry. What is ours to do is to hear our heartfelt message. What is ours to do is to live our heartfelt message. What is ours to do is to see, be, and become that heartfelt message of love here and now, and of love forever and love ever after. Long job, big job, doesn't have an ending, doesn't have a time clock. You don't get to punch a time clock on love. No time clock on love. It's here, it's now, and it's after. It's in the time zone of here and now, and it's in the timeless of here and after. No time clock on love. No time on love, but there is a time to take time to be present with the love. Not about a time clock. It's about taking time to take time to be present with love. Our talk title, and I say our talk title because this is one of my openings, this is one of my go-tos, because there is no ownership of anything, yet there is a oneness with everything. And so our talk title is Emerge and See. Every opportunity, every human emergency is a spiritual opportunity to divinely emerge and see. You know, the truth about human emergency, here's this one. Here's this one. To the degree that you're willing to own this, as the degree that you will come to divine oneness. The degree that you are willing to own this is the degree that you will come to divine oneness. The truth about human emergencies, they're all self-created. They're self-created mamas, dramas, and traumas that keep us from seeing clearly. I can see clearly, right? Our self-created mamas, dramas, and traumas keep us from seeing clearly. I can see clearly now. And what I can see clearly now, that the rain is gone, that the clouds have cleared, that the sun has always been there. Between the rain and the clouds, the sun's always been there. It never went anywhere. It never went anywhere. Ross and I were at the car wash the other day. We have this quick quack where you drive through and it does the outside, but it doesn't do the inside, but you get unlimited washes and the outside looks great. But about every 5 weeks, you got to go to the real car wash that does the inside and the outside, because your windows and your windshield just get fogged up, and I don't care, you can't Windex that stuff out. So it had been about 8 weeks with all the rain. We went to the car wash the other day. When did a car wash cost $60 with tip? I'm like, when did that happen? And they did the car, and they came out, and it looked like a brand new car. Nice. And the windshield was so clean. The windshield was so clean that I couldn't do myself. I needed Spirit working. They had 4 people working on the car. Spirit working on the car. Through those people got my windshield clean. I could not do that with Windex and elbow grease. And so sometimes we turn it over. Sometimes we turn it over to the guys at the car wash. And what was amazing, I wish we'd had a Facebook moment. We get in the car, and Ross and I both reached for the windshield, like, where did the windshield go? It was so clean and so clear, you couldn't even see it. And we literally were like, did they remove the windshield? And they didn't remove the windshield. They removed anything that kept clarity from coming through, the outside from coming in and the inside from coming out. They removed anything, any doubt, any lack, any fog, any film. They removed it. And the light came in and the light came out. And Ernest Holmes says the veil is thin between us. And sometimes when you get your car washed, The veil that was between you was your windshield. And the message we can get when we're noticing what we're noticing is the veil is thin between us. And sometimes we call in people of higher consciousness on cleaning who do it better than we do. We don't do this stuff alone. So our talk theme, which doubles as our social media meme, is I Can See Clearly Now. And it's time to see clearly now. And what is time to see clearly is it's time to stop waiting. It's time to start knowing. We've already arrived. We've already arrived. We're already here in the presence of love. We're here in the presence of love, whether it's a Waffle House, whether it's a community, whether it's a car wash. The presence of love is everywhere present. It has arrived. What is ours to do is make it welcome. My dad was great at making guests welcome. Before the doorbell rang on Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter, he had so cooked with my mom. They had so prepared that house. They had so made welcome that house and the feeling of love that you walked into our home on those Thanksgivings and those Christmas holidays, and you felt the love. Ernest Holmes invites us to be open at the top. Our cell phones and computers invite us to open our apps. Rumi invites us to open our hearts, and I invite us to make welcome this opening quote from my book, Heartlight, which is available at the bookstore for purchase in our HDCSL bookstore, and supporting the bookstore supports this center. This is my book, Heartlight, and this is my opening quote from Heartlight. And our spiritual principle is spiritual beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And next slide, Nick. My emergencies are spiritual opportunities to see. And the quote from my book, and I'm not quite sure it is in there because the slides were not coordinating with my talk because I did them early this morning, but the slide is, even the dark will not be dark to you. There we go. Thank you. I was doing that at 6 in the morning, and I wasn't sure they were coordinated, and that's perfect, Nick. This is the opening quote in my book, and it means a whole lot to me. Even the dark will not be dark to you, for the night will be like day, for dark is as light to you. Not all of our days are going to be bright and shiny. Some are going to be dark and shadowy. I'm coming to learn in our HDCSL grief group, which Angie spoke so beautifully to, if I can't grieve what I've lost, if I can't take the time to be with my grief, then I can't value what I have. I can't value what I have. I'm coming to learn in our HDCSL grief group, in the dark of my grief is always the light of my love. Always the light of my love. And I'm coming to learn in our Thursday HDCSL grief group, the light of love is everywhere present, everywhere knowing, everywhere powerful. And if I can't see the light of my love for myself in the moment, someone else will see it for me until I can see it for myself. We changed the name of grief group a couple weeks ago from grief group, what are we declaring? And now we changed it to good grief. And Nick, if we can have the next slide. Aha, now they're syncing. Perfect. So what we're coming to learn in grief group, what I'm coming to learn in grief, there are no teachers here. This is teachers and students as one. This is a place of, this is that place of spirit, yeah? This is that place of spirit. And here's what drops in. Kindness is loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness. This book, Heartlight, that was my intention. I'm coming to learn that the language of the light of love always speaks from the positive conviction of possibility. Love speaks from the positive conviction of possibility, from the positive conviction, from possibility thinking, and never from the negativity of the past of the way it was or from attachment to the conditions of the problem. As long as we are attached to the lack and the limitation and liability, the light of our love is never going to shine forth. And sometimes it takes people coming together in a safe space, a comforting space, a loving space, to know that love is the knowing that we never walk alone, that all emergencies are opportunities to emerge and see, to see rightly from the heart. And Nick, can we have the next slide? Oh, no, back it up one. Okay, well, let's hold it there. And this is a slide, and we'll let it be. My emergencies are spiritual opportunities to emergency. And here's a personal story. This week just passed was Suicide Prevention Week. There's not a week, a day, an hour, a minute, or a second, or a heartbeat that someone does not die by suicide. Out of the darkness into the light has very, very special meaning, and that's why I opened my book with that quote about darkness and light being one. And out of the darkness into the light doesn't have special meaning for me because of a girl from Ipanema, but because of a girl from Santa Monica who 5 or 6 years ago wore a T-shirt. Ross and I had an appointment at the John Wayne Medical Center. We got there an hour early, 3:30 in the morning, to get there for an 8 o'clock appointment. We got there an hour early. We were walking down Santa Monica Boulevard for an hour. And I passed this girl, and she had a T-shirt. And it said American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And on the back of her T-shirt, it said, "Out of the darkness into the light." And I walked 15 steps past, and I could not walk anymore. Literally, I could not walk. Literally, I could not, not possible. And Spirit dropped in and said, go back and just be present with that girl. Just be with her. During COVID, we had masks. So I went back to her and I said to her, and I say to you of this teaching, I said, the courage it must take for you to wear that T-shirt in public when most people keep things in private. I said, the courage it must take. And we looked in each other's eyes in that knowing beyond knowing. You know those wonderful, incredible moments? Probably Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart had it in Casablanca, you know. Those moments when you are just one. And she turned to me, and we both teared up, and she said, how long? She said 2 words. She said, how long? And I said, 10 years. And she said to me, 18 months for me, and I'm not sure I'm going to make 19. I'm a suicide survivor now of 16 years. She asked me, you really can make it 10 years? And I said, yes, you can make it 10 years, and 10 years, and 10 years more if you don't do it alone. If you don't walk alone, and if when you're feeling alone, you reach out. Ross and I, a few months later, this was probably in August, and their walk is in October, and we're walking in October, and you're welcome to join us. We walked in that walk. And the next year, they asked me to be a keynote speaker. Why, I don't know, but Spirit did. Why I said yes, I don't know, but Spirit knew. And I had this remarkable opportunity of being present with about 800 people on a Saturday morning in Santa Monica. And just being present. Just being present. And in that moment, I came to know myself better. And I came to know my ministry better. And I came to know that ministry is not something I do. Ministry is a place of love in my heart I come from. This year, Ross and I will walk again, and we will walk the year after, and we will walk the year after, and we walk the year after. And sometimes we walk in silence, and sometimes we walk in tears, and sometimes we walk in shame. All part of the game. But mostly we walk in the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention walk when we walk mostly. 800 of us in the last walk walked as one. One in the knowing that there's not a spot where God is not. One in the knowing you are never alone. And if you reach out, we will reach back. If you are going through anything in this community, reach out. Come to our grief group. We will reach back. We will reach back. Please reach out. You know, today is the day to reach out from your heart. Today is the day to reach out from your heart to someone you love in your heart. Today is the day to reach out to someone that you love in your heart that you haven't reached out with love for a long time. Because one day, sometimes
Ministry is so much harder than I ever thought it would be. But most of the time, it's more wonderful than anything I've ever imagined. But reach out today, reach out. Because one day you are going to hug your last hug. You are going to kiss your last kiss, and you're going to hear someone's voice for the last time. But you never know when that last time will be. So live every day as if it were the last time you will be with the person you love. Rumi shares this about love. You have to keep breaking your heart until your heart breaks wide open to love. There's a Ho'oponopono prayer. Chris did it here a month or two ago. And it simply states 4 steps. The first step is I love you and love yourself. The second step is I'm sorry. The third step is please forgive me. And the final step is thank you. You know, today I invite us to reach out. I invite you to walk with Ross and myself. And my book is in the bookstore, Darkness to Light, Illusion to Illumination. It tells a lot of my story. My story is still unfolding. But today, if you purchase through the bookstore, it'll help this center, and I will donate 50% of the proceeds of this book to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So I would appreciate it, AFSP would appreciate it, and the center would appreciate it. So in the bookstore, and we'd really appreciate it if you'd support all 3 causes at once. You know, it's time when you can't remember for yourself that love is all there is. Nick, we have the next slide. If you can remember what I remember every day in ministry, when we let the life we lead become our prayer, when we let the life we lead become our prayer, then the life we live is one of prayer answered. My life is one of prayer answered. Ross's life and our life together is one of prayer answered. Ministry for Ross and me is not about the job we do, it's about the life we lead and live. Sometimes Ross and I lead a Sunday sermon. Sometimes we lead a pride parade. Sometimes we lead an American Foundation for Society for Prevention of Suicide walk. But every day, in every way, we do our best. We do our best to lead from the love in our hearts, to let the stuff that's unlike love fall away, to work through it, to talk about it, to share it. But ministry for us has brought us to a life we love, a life of prayer answered. Today be the reason someone feels loved. Today and every day of the rest of your life, be the reason someone feels loved. Be the reason someone feels happy. Be the reason a world that works for everyone becomes a here and now reality, not a someday of the week. And remember, when you can't remember, I'll remember for you. The center will remember for you. Our practitioners will remember for you. Your life has meaning. Your life has purpose. And you are loved beyond the measure of the rain and the clouds and the sky. Be well. Stay conscious. Namaste. I love you beyond measure. And so ends our talk.
I invite the choir to please come up right now. We have a song for you called "The Center Where I Go." In the town called Apple Valley, there's a center where I go. All the people are so friendly that it feels just like home. There's a man named Reverend Michael. It's a joy to hear his talks. He will lift your spirits higher. That's because this man, he rocks. There's a guy who plays piano in the choir singing too. It's our goal to make the world be a better place, better Yes, it's true. Come on in and see the view. Laugh, cry, feelings may ensue. There's this DJ Steve Colucci. He's the fixer of all things. At his karaoke parties, lots of fun is what he brings. In the office you'll find Brandy. She excels at helping you. If you need a hug, she's right there. And she sings and dances too. In the sound booth is Nick Jackson, and he does computers too. He will wire you up and mic you, and he'll make you sound real cool. So much fun, it's a blast. You can be yourself at last. No fear, fear is in the past. There's a man who takes the flags out. Richard Fox is who he is, and he sings with lots of passion. He's a friend and I am his. There's a lady, her name's Lori, and she helps me all the time. And she plays the flute with glory, and her singing is divine. There's a couple, Frank and Judy. They've been here since who knows when. They're the backbone of this center, and we love them till the end. Come on in, make a friend. There's no judgment, there's no shame. Joy, peace, you'll be glad you came. This is where we teach that freedom can be found inside your mind. How you think and how you see things is the way to peace, way to peace, way to peace inside. No fear, come and take a ride inside.
That was amazing, Chris and choir. That was so fun. And Michael, so much love for you. Thank you for a wonderful talk. And let's see where I am now. So this is our giving time. Please take a moment to join me in appreciation for this beautiful community and our Science of Mind philosophy. We know that we live in an abundant universe. There is always more than enough to share and to spare. We use this time to open up the flow of abundance and circulate that energy with love and gratitude. Because we appreciate you and your contributions, we make it easy for you to give. In addition to placing your offering in the basket today, there are various ways that you can contribute to our center. Thank you, Nick, for showing the slide with the information. We appreciate you for supporting this center. Because of you, our service and this experience together continues to be possible, and the possibilities are growing. Thank you so much. I'd like to invite the ushers to come forward. And we thank you for your service today. Please join me in reading aloud our Declaration of Affirmative Giving, located inside your program on the left side and also up on the monitors. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center. knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. So I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender, I surrender. I am one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so thankful. I am one in the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I trust in God.
So I have to say, it still looks like a Waffle House to me. But I know today we did not waffle on spiritual principle of love and on Ernest Holmes' principle that healing is revealing. You know, when we reveal what's going on inside, we heal what's going on the outside. So I know today it was a house in which we did not waffle from principle. It is a house in which we did not waffle from the truth. It is a day we did not waffle from coming to know ourselves better. And I'm knowing that I come to know myself better through ministry. I'm knowing this community comes to know itself better through its contribution of time, tithe, and talent. And I know this ministry and this center is in the process of blossoming and flourishing and coming forth into a light that is brighter than any light that has ever shone through our glass window, that has ever shone through the openness of our heart. And that light of love, through our symbol, that light of love through the openness of our heart, will light this world with love, will light this world with prosperity, will light this world with kindness and grace and contribution. Mostly the contribution of your presence is a gift we are so grateful for, and we also accept your financial contribution so this center can continue to be a light in this world. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, ushers, Chris, Reverend Michael. Our practitioner team is here to serve you. Thank you for your service here at HDCSL. Their phone numbers are on the back of your program, so please reach out to one of our experienced licensed practitioners for prayer, especially if you are going through a challenge in your life. They are here to know the truth for you, even when we don't. We also have a prayer request box in the garden room right next to the sanctuary doors under the picture of our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes. This box is checked regularly, and our prayer team loves to pray for you and with you. You can also connect with the office by phone, text, or email. You can put in a prayer request, and the message will be passed on to the prayer team. Thank you, practitioners, for your service. You are greatly appreciated. And thank you to those of us, thank you to those of us who have joined us here live. And thank you to those of you online, whether you're joining us live or in a replay. Glad to have you. We will see you next Sunday, September 24th, for our Bling theme HDCSL celebration service with Reverend Michael, followed by fellowship with our healing sound bath with Tamara, And remember, it is also the fourth Sunday of the month, so we will be doing an extra collection for the Legacy Fund, and we'll have an update on how that is growing. So thank you, everyone, and have a great week, and see you at the Healthy Spirit Fair this Saturday, the 23rd. So let's all make a circle now to close out this wonderful service as Chris plays God Makes Me Wanna Sing.
I can't help it. God makes me wanna sing.